Hello everyone, and in this video I'm gonna explain you what's important in the mesh modeler in TrackMania. So first of all, we have three different options to enter in the mesh modeler editor. So the first one is from the custom block interface, where you can create a new custom block from an already existing block. This manipulation is not that great because most of the time you can only edit some part of the blocks. Like for example, this one you can only edit the top of the platform, which is honestly not very useful. The two other option is in the item editing, where you can create new item from nothing. So there is just a cube, but after you do whatever you want, you have the options. Or also start from selected blocks, and from this now you can edit whatever you want from the block. So 95% of the time we're gonna use the third manipulation. Note that you're in the mesh modeler interface. I'm gonna explain you the four essential tools. The first one is the selection. So by pressing left click you can select all the faces, edges and vertices that you want. And also a shortcut is that you can use Ctrl A to select everything. The second one is the moving tools. Something important to know is the bottom right, that are the tool step and the selection length. From this you can adjust so the step when you are moving the item, and this allows you to be more precise. So for example, on this item I'd like it to move to 8 meters, so I can select tool step of 8 meters, and so when I drag the item it's gonna only move by 8 meters, and so fits perfectly with this item. Of course you can do the same by downgrading the tool step, and so with this you can be very precise. So the same apply to the rotation tools, so with a degree tool step. Also something to know is that the X rotation is gonna happen around the black X, and if you need to change it you need to press shift, so the rotation gonna change. Compare this axe, shift, new axe, and shift another axe. That's it. And then the last one is the scale tools, which, as mentioned, manage to scale from some points that at most of the time are placed in the middle of the edges and faces. So if I want my block to fit this one, I'm gonna need to scale the block to 25, so I'm changing the tool step, and tack, it's gonna fit perfectly on this side. Also, if you wanna do like a mirror scale, you can press shift and move, and so it's gonna apply the scale on the right and also on the left. So you can also do the same on the diagonal. It depends of your situation. And as the moving tools, you can put the tool step to like 0%, and from this, like, you're gonna be very precise. Like, it's up to you. Now that we know all the essential tools, I'm gonna explain all the different tools by doing an example on the cube. So first of all, I need to create a face. So I'm gonna go in the creation tool and select create face. Since it's a cube, I need to do a square, so it's a basic option. If you watch bottom right, I'm gonna do 32 meters for each 32, and then exit. So now I have my first face. Now to give more space, I'm gonna put it higher, and now I'm gonna just repeat 2 more times, so I have all my 3 main faces. So when all the 3 faces are created, we can go in the modeling tools. So now we're gonna need to use the mirror tools, which is pretty simple. You select your face, click mirror selection, and then place the face where you need to go, and up the top face. Tack. If for some reason one of your face is in the opposite direction. Like there is a simple solution which is to to select the face and press I. So it will invert the direction of your face. You can scale your item if needed, but also a different option that exists is the extrude selection, so, which is basically almost the same. So, just extrude your selection. Pretty simple to use. Now something a bit more tricky is about the deformation tools. This one, first of all, you need to face the direction of where you want to deform your item. So just to show, like if I'm facing this part, I'm gonna deform the item from this view. If I'm facing the side, I'm gonna deform into the side. Now if I wanna extend my item, I can just click the green points and extend it. If I wanna create some rotation, there is green squares. And if you select the middle of the points, you can get new points. From these points, you can create rotation. This one is gonna allow you on this side. Also, you can do it if you want your block to go up or go down. And you can do the same at the extremity. For example, if I want my block to go up, and now I can extend it by pressing the button. Like, it's up to your choice. Sometimes, if you need more deformation axe, you can find some points on the yellow line. It's pretty much to find, but most of the time it's in the middle. Okay, this there. And if you click on it, it's gonna create a new green square, and so it means new rotation point. Now for the third icon, it's the advanced tools, and honestly, most of them is not useful at all for just mesh modeling work. Maybe the last one to simplify the mesh or to subdivide and smooth your item, but even that, it's not even necessary. Last but not least, we have the materials tool. This one is pretty simple to understand. So first, in the interface, you have this bar where it shows all the in-game textures. So as example, you have the road tech, the basic road dirt, some platform tech. Like you can find every texture that exists in game. Next to this, you have a plus where you can create yourself textures. So based on the game textures, which I'm gonna explain later. And on the right, you have the projection of your textures with the UV, which means, for example, if I'm gonna take like this one, this deco hill, I can select the UV projection. So if I want it to be planar, which gonna fit perfectly to my item. You have also polyhedric or cylindrical. This honestly just depends on the shape of your item. Though this one, it is very cubic, like polyhedric and cubic is working well. So that's it. But as you can see, like there is the remark there that I don't like. I would like just grass to the top and wood on the bottom. Wood on the side, sorry. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna click on custom UV mode, and there you can select the projection of your texture. And as you can see on the top, you have this part of the texture that is in the wood. So if I want to only get grass, I can just rescale the textures and place it to the grass part, and now I have exactly, well, I can do the same for this one. Yep, to grass, and also I have exactly grass to the top and only wood on the side. So this is great to adapt textures to your item. for small tips, if you're struggling to refine the textures that is already applied on an item or a block, you can press Ctrl and right click on it, and it's gonna directly send you to the texture that had been used on the item. So yeah, as you can see, I can repeat it. Like, I can go on the random page, Ctrl right click on it, and directly it goes to the decoil texture. Now the second important things to know about material source is to create your own materials. First of all, you're gonna need to checkmark based on game textures, and then you're gonna see, or at least need to see, three different parts, which are material ID, surface physics ID, and surface gameplay ID. For the first one, material ID is just the visual of your textures. For example, on my side, I'm gonna get yeah, let's go for just a bobsleigh texture. So it's not the physics, only the visual. Now I'd like maybe to get on this magnet. So you can find the magnet physics on this part. So it name Tech Magnetic XL or Tech Super Magnetic. Like, this is just the power of the magnet. So this one is the most powerful one. And the surface gameplay ID is only the effect blocks. So like the freewheel, reset, booster, reactor. You have even bumpers. So turbo 2 is like red boosters, random turbo, freewheeling, no grip, no steering. Slow-mo, bumper, bumper 2, it means it's a stronger bumper. So for example, I'm gonna get a Tech Magnetic with a freewheel. So let's go with this. So if you understand, I'm gonna get a texture with the visual of the bobsleigh, the physics of a magnet block, and the gameplay of a freewheeling. So I'm gonna get the freewheel tab. I'm gonna save my textures to Bob Magnet Freewheel. When this is done, you're gonna get your texture at the last page on the there. And now, if I just need to apply my texture, I'm selecting all the face, like apply a polyhedric UV projection. So now I get the bobsleigh visual. I'm gonna save my item to test, and now I'm gonna show you that this item is gonna be magnetic and also give a freewheel. So now if I go on the wall, as you can see, engine off, and the block is magnet. In this part, I'm gonna explain you how to create an invisible wall or floor, and thanks to this, I'm gonna show you the geometry attributes and the layers. First of all, I'm gonna show you that it doesn't work at all, but just unmark the visibility for some reason. So for this, we're gonna need to bypass the system. As you can see, like, maybe I'm blocked, but nothing invisible, like, yeah, nothing changed. So to manage to create an invisible wall with cohesions, first I'm gonna need to create a new layer. As you can see, there's three main layers that you're gonna use most of the time, and 9 different options, but honestly, don't care about them. So on my side, geometry, a small cube will appear, just select it and sup, disappear. For comprehension, I'm gonna rename my layers like this one, visibility, this one, cohesion. And so, just for after, I'm gonna make it a bit bigger. So first of all, you're gonna need to select the mesh, then Ctrl C to copy, and then Ctrl V on the other layer. Place it perfectly in the middle, and now you have 2 times the same mesh but in a different layer. Now, in the visibility layer, my goal is to keep the visibility, but as you can see, it's not invisible. So in the materials, I'm gonna need to find the invisible textures. It exists like 2 or 3, but the best one to use is the Team Snow Temple Transparent. So just apply it, like polyhedric, like whatever you want. Sorry, need to select. And now your goal is to make sure that it fits through an invisible part, which is like there. So now it's invisible. In the collision layer, you're gonna need to unmark the visibility. As you can see, it's weird textures, but don't worry, like this is invisible in game, but you can apply a physics. So you have a concrete, grass, ice, metal with dirt, and also a gameplay, which has like boosters, no grip, force acceleration. You have also the bumpers and even the transform gate to switch to snow, desert car, etc. On my side, just concrete surface is enough. And now you can just save your item. And as you can see in game, you have an invisible block where I can drive on. For this second application, I'm gonna show you how to create start, finish, or a checkpoint. So I'm gonna edit an item and enter in the mesh. So this part's gonna happen in the layers. So I'm gonna need to create new layers and then add a trigger. So on my block, I'm gonna make sure the line is good. And so plus 1 point. I'm gonna create a line. So when my car gonna pass through this trigger, it's gonna trigger something. If I put checkpoint, it's gonna be checkpoints. Otherwise, it'll be like trigger of the finish or just the start. So perfect. So now I have my trigger. Now you can just exit, say keep change, and then on this interface you're gonna get a message that said you're gonna need to set a waypoint type. So on my side I want to create a checkpoint. Just need to check mark and then save the item. So as simply as it is, now I can just cross the block and I'm gonna get a checkpoint. The respawn point is shit, so how to change this? Gonna need to edit your item, return in the mesh, and then add a spawn point. Now you're gonna see a blue arrows. Now your goal is just to move this arrow in the direction you want to make sure the double respawn is good enough for you. So from our side, I'm gonna need some test because I don't know. 16. Yeah, I'm just for this. Maybe like in the other sides, horizontal. Yep. So now, thanks to this, if I take the checkpoint and double respawn, I've changed the respawn point to this point. It's very easy to change the spawn point to create some safe way for some interesting parts. So, like example, 48 on the other side. I keep the change. I'm spawning thanks to this on a booster. And maybe get the speed I was missing. If I show you, like normal way, you take your checkpoint. Oh no, I don't have the speed, double respawn, and you spawn on your booster. Now if you want this but at the start, just edit your item and in waypoint, you checkmark start, and the stance will be defined by the spawn point. So sorry, wrong. This one. And since my spawn point hit on the booster, my start is based on the boosters. And the trigger effect is gonna be a finish. If I put finish. So save. If I go straight, I'm gonna finish the map. Because I have my trigger line in the middle of the map.